New airplane build. A Sabre F-86, as the box says. It's a MiG killer. Okay, well, I'm going to use some thin CA, but oh, look at it stuck. I don't want to use very much at all, so I'm not even going to dispense it from the bottle. Holy moly. There we go. Whew. Okay. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get something that I don't need, or something that I can... Here's a paint tray. Oh look, it's broken, the nipple on there. That's just horrible. Okay, so what I'll do though is I'll take a little bit from here. Can you see what I'm doing? Taking a skewer and just a little bit of CA glue. Just going. And putting just a little bit of CA glue on those threads. And that's lots. But that will hold that servo horn. And I mean that wire holder on there. Oh, I need to... It's not going to last long in that bottle, is it? That's one thing I don't like about buying lots of CA glue. Is if you don't use it right away, it seems to, the bottles get destroyed. Oh well. There's many places you can get CA glue very inexpensively. Okay. I hurry here. It's on semi-tight. But remember, we want this to have play. There. Oh, I still got my old pool of CA glue here. My skewer. And can you see how much I put on there? Very little amount. But it's just enough to glue that little piece on and it won't come off. This won't hurt my paint. It'll be strong paint. Oh yeah, you guys, I got the batteries. You see? Two 5,000 milliamp, 30C, 3 cell backs. So this is going to be the battery pack. I like going this way instead of having one big 6 cell, because I can balance these separately and I can charge them separately. Helps me charge my backs way faster. I have way more than one charger. So now we'll take our stuff here. Oops. Bring my receiver over. Get a Y adapter. Make sure these are plugged in the right way. And this is for my elevator. It doesn't really matter, does it? I had to go get the transmitter. Okay, so I'm turning the radio on. I'm going to plug power in. Everything's there. And there they go. Now, you know, you can only center them to a certain point. I'm going to see here. I don't think it will go any more center than that. No, see it either that way. It's one side or the other. So I'm both the same right now. Right? this way. There they go. Okay, so they're centered. Now I can unplug, shut the radio off, and unplug them. Now when I install them in the wing, I know that they're both centered. So they should be just fine. Now I can put this screw in the one that I didn't put a screw in. I put a screw in the other one. Now again, you guys, yeah, let's do this properly. These are important screws again. You don't want them coming out, right? So we'll use blue Loctite on them, right? Just a little bit. I like using my Loctite because it's a metal gear servo. Anytime you have metal to metal gears, you should always use Loctite. Now, if you were putting this, if this screw was to say going into a plastic servo, well then you don't have to use Loctite because the plastic will hold the piece in place. But anytime you have metal on metal, always use Loctite. And blue is good enough. Sometimes red is a little hard to get undone, so I recommend blue. There's green and purple, but that stuff's really crazy. Okay, so I got my servos in here, right? Turn the radio on. I'm gonna power up my receiver, right? Now, when I go up and down my elevator, can you guys see that? What if I zoom in a bit? That help. Can you see my servos? Okay. They're both going opposite directions. Yeah. It's not my ailerons. This is my elevator. They both have to do it the exact same way. So, I apparently have to reverse the servo. So, how do we do that, Daisy, you ask? Well, how do we do a lot of things? Go and watch a video on YouTube. I had to watch Night Flyer. Okay. So, after watching Night Flyer's video, I'm going to put this back away because remember I attached and we centered the servos up. Okay. There's my elevator servo. Okay, but now I'm going to take you off the mount. Bring you over here. Okay. Now we have to go inside here, right? We have to unsolder those two red wires, the outside red wires, and change them side to side. Unsolder the two red wires on the motor and change them over. And then that will make this a reversing servo. So, I'm not going to videotape that, but I'm not doing electronics, of course, we're doing model building. But there's lots of guys online showing you how to reverse servos. Go watch one of their videos, they're very good. That's what I did. Okay, now, do a little thing called rewire the servo to reverse it. I will show you that both servos are moving the same way when I move the elevator. All you had to do was just take the servo apart, solder a couple wires off, put a couple more back on, and it's ready to go. Okay, so that's in. And because I just have the radio on, I know my servos are centered, right? So we're going to make some epoxy here. Now, these fit in here really tight, And I'm going to use a double-sided sticky tape. Then I'm just going to put a little bit of epoxy on the top here. And they are the Turner G, what are they? The TGY 90S Metal Gear servos. So I don't think I should have any problem with them. And then we'll take these out like this. We'll make sure we get some epoxy inside that with these tabs. We'll get them on. And we painted the front of the canopy silver. I'll show you here. Painted the inside of the back all black. So, because these stabilizers are going to be put on the back here, in the instructions, I mean, holy, I'll put these together, and I'll glue them onto each side of the body, and then we're going to put the tube and the wiring in, and we'll glue the tail section together. So we'll do this first. That'll come next. Remember, I've still got to do this really thin servo, and we're going to mod the rudder here next before we glue anything in the body. And I'm going to cut it out here on these lines. So I think I'll cut that jig in it and down there. And that will be the elevator. We'll hinge it. Get it all done up. Get that looking good. And I've decided on the paint job I'm going to go with a gloss black, I think, and blue. So I'm thinking I might have to go and, oh man, it may be a lot of work. We'll talk about that later, glassing this whole thing. No cloth. We're just painting epoxy on it, so that when I paint it, it gets a smoother finish. We'll see how that goes.